Hey guys, this is Stelly Active with Closeout. This morning I got an email from somebody asking me, Stelly, what are the top reasons why people don't close deals? And I thought to make it a little bit more fun, why not put it in the format of the 7 deadly closing sins? All right, let's go through those sins and figure out why people commit those sins, how they turn to stopping them from closing deals, and what you can do to actually avoid that and go to closing heaven. I might be pushing this a little too far on the metaphor side. But anyways, all right, let's go with sin number 1. Asking for the close selfishly. What I mean by that is whenever somebody tries to close a deal and close another person or another business or buying their solution product, whatever it is, and trying to sell them and close them before having actually made sure that that potential customer is a qualified customer and would benefit from closing. Too many people try to close deals selfishly without even thinking about the other side, without even trying to qualify and figure out if there's a good fit, and without even verifying that once the close has occurred, in the value exchange, the customer is going to get more value out of it than what it costs them to buy your solution. That's the number one closing sin, and that's the number one reason why a lot of times people won't buy, is because they will feel that the person that's trying to close them is closing them from a selfish perspective, from a hostile perspective, doesn't have their best interest in mind, and they don't believe the salesperson when he or she tells them that this is going to be a good product for them. Closing sin number 2 is when you ask for the close unselfishly, right? So the other extreme, whenever you try to make a close and you don't know if that customer is going to be good for your business, when you're trying to make them actually purchase your solution or product and there's no clarity that that deal is actually going to be really worth money to you, that close comes from a weak perspective and a weak energy, and ultimately will lead to people not wanting to buy from you more often than not. And when they buy from you, it's going to lead to a really bad deal down the line. Sales and closing sin number 3 is asking for the close without follow-up hustle. What I mean by that is you try to pitch them on the close, you ask them for their money and ask them for their business, so you've done the good job there. But then when they need to think about it or bring it back, the proposal to their team, if there's anything else that needs to be done before they can actually close, you don't follow up. This is the craziest thing in the world. People going for the close with no follow-up strategy. Going for the close, listening to the other party saying, hey, I need to think about it, or I need to check, do ABC still in terms of checkup, but then by next week we're going to make a final decision, and then not following up on that. Hey, you need 2 days to consult with your co-founder or your partner in the business. Awesome. Can I be part of that discussion so I'm going to be able to be sure to answer all the questions that your partner will have? So I'm going to try to interject myself into that. But even if I don't, hey, you need 2 days to make a final decision? Cool. I'm going to call you in 3 days to see that we get the deal done. And then on day 3 in the morning, I'm going to call and be like, hey, how did the meeting go? Did you guys have the chance to discuss this? Are we doing this or not? If they tell me, well, no, we were too busy, maybe we need another few days, cool. When is going to be the right time for me to follow up? Well, maybe you can follow up next Wednesday with me. Cool. Here's what I'm going to do. On next Tuesday, I'm actually going to send you an email at 2 p.m. reminding you that I'm going to be calling you on Wednesday. You know what happens if you are that determined is they know that you are going to follow up. So they are going to make sure to not let it fall through the cracks. They know on Tuesday they're going to get an email. They know on Wednesday they're going to get a call. So they know they have to take care of this. It can't just fall through the cracks. It can't just fall down in terms of their priorities. Follow up and make sure that the deal actually happens and the close actually occurs. Closing with no follow-up, or attempting to close with no follow-up hustle, is the closing sin number 3. Closing sin number 4 is asking for the close, anticipating the no. Too many people, salespeople, have heard no way too many times in their lives, and they all do. Just like any athlete, a basketball player has missed more times than he made the score. If you're a professional, you're going to hear more no's than yeses. You're going to go attempt the close more often than you're going to be able to actually deliver the close. And a lot of salespeople can't deal with the emotional side effect of that. And every time they hear no, they get more and more depressed. They stop believing in their solution product. And then when they go for the close, they play to play. They don't play to win anymore. They go half-assed in their attempt, and they kind of squint already when they ask for the close because they already anticipate to get a bashing or get a no. When you suggest through your body language, your tonality, the choice of words that you don't believe they're going to say yes, it's going to actually make them say no. You're actually going to persuade them to saying no instead of saying yes. So sales sin number 4 is asking, or closing sin number 4 is asking for the close, anticipating the no. Closing sin number 5 is actually asking for the close and being devastated when you actually hear a no. This is crazy to me. You need to know that people are going to say no. You need to anticipate when you go for the close that more often than not, people are not going to be ready at that moment. So you need to embrace that versus being devastated by it. But that happens way too many times. People go for the close, they hear the first no, and they're devastated and crushed by that. Well, if you're crushed and devastated, are you going to follow up? No. Are you going to go for the close again? More likely no. And are you going to suggest to the person you're trying to close that you're a winner, that the company is winning, that you guys are crushing it? If they say no and they can tell and see and feel that it kind of crushed you and destroyed your confidence in the deal? No. If your confidence goes dramatically down once they said no to you once, they will basically buy into the idea that it might have been a good idea to say no to you, and they might want to stick around with that answer. So, what is the final 2 closing sins? Closing sin number 6 is actually asking for the close way too late. And that again is kind of a symptom of a salesperson that is afraid of the no. So you're trying to do anything and everything to provide them with all information. You wait it out and wait it out and wait it out because you're afraid to ask, because you're afraid of the no. So you're trying to wait as long as humanly possible in the sales process. You're trying to overwhelm them with information, give them all the time in the world, just be as hands down and as soft as possible to avoid rejection. Asking for the deal way too late will actually, and asking for the close way too late will actually increase the rate of people rejecting you, not decrease it. You know, information leads to discussion. The more time and the more information passes, the more confusion, the more questions arise, the more priorities shift, the more time for competitors to sneak into the deal, the more time for a competitor that knows how to close to actually close the deal before you can. So asking for the close way too late is sales and closing sin number 6. And the final and most dramatic closing sin is never actually asking for the close. The worst thing you can do. And that's the defining factor, the number 1 reason why most people don't buy is because you never asked them for the close. You never asked them for the close. You never took responsibility for the close. You leave that burden of responsibility and decision making to the client. And the client, more often than not, needs your help, needs help to actually make the final decision, needs somebody to actually prompt the decision-making process, needs you to ask for the close. They need you to ask for the close. Oh, and by the way, one thing that I just remember I forgot on closing sin number 6 and asking too late is that if you ask early and you get a no and you embrace it, it's fine. It's totally part of the process. I'm going to tell you guys how to actually go step by step in the way that you close in order to actually close more deals, make more sales, be more successful, service and serve more customers out there. So with the 7 deadly closing sins, let's go through them really quickly. Asking selfishly for the close, asking unselfishly for the close, asking for the close without follow-up, asking for the close and being devastated by the no, asking for the close and anticipating the no, and then finally asking for the close too late and never ever asking for the close. How do you actually close more deals, make more sales? What is the closing mojo? What are the closing, how do you become a closing saint? I know I'm struggling here with a metaphor, but I'm trying to have a little bit of fun with this. So what to do to become a closing saint and actually make things happen? Well, first of all, you have to ask for the close unselfishly and selfishly. You have to ask for the close only when a buyer is qualified. First, you learn about them, you learn about their needs, and you clarify and you verify that they should actually buy your solution. Only when somebody is truly qualified do you even go for the close. That's number 1. Number 2, once you've verified and qualified them as an opportunity, you go for the close early, you go for the close often. You ask for the close as early as humanly possible, and then when they tell you no, you actually embrace the no. You actually make it part of it. You actually you tell them, you know what, now that we figure out that this is a good fit, are you ready to buy? And they go, well, we didn't even see a demo of your product. Say, cool, but I thought I'll give you an opportunity to make a decision quicker rather than later. Let's give you a quick demo. Then you give them the demo. You say, you know what, are you ready to buy now? And when they say no, you laugh and you say, oh, of course you're not. We're not even through my entire presentation, but I wanted to check in and see, you seem like a pretty smart cookie. You seem like you know what you're doing. I thought you might have already enough information to know that this is the right solution. Let's move on with the sales process, right? Asking early, asking often, embracing the no, which suggests to them that you're confident, you're probably pretty successful, so they might want to be part of that success by actually buying from you. And you know what? When you embrace the no early and often, that no will give you some information. Sometimes they'll say no, and you'll ask them why, and they give you some really brilliant nuggets of information. They'll give you the roadmap to the close because they're going to tell you the reasons why they're not ready, which are also the reasons or the ways of how to get them ready, to get them to the close. And then, last but not least, you need to be able to emotionally master the craft of anticipating the yes. And this is what's emotionally tough about closing, is although I ask early and ask often, and although I embrace the no, I have to anticipate the yes every single time. I have to ask as if I'm 100% sure they're going to say yes. I have to have they say no, that can't destroy the vision. And that's something that's really, really tough for a lot of people emotionally to deal with. The schizophrenic, reality distortion ability to actually hear the no from people and still believe in the yes. But if you get these things right, you're going to be closing more deals, making more sales, and be a lot more successful. So now that you know, for all of you out there that are hustling hard every single day, take those closing sins and stop committing them. Take the road to the close and asking often, asking early, embracing the no and anticipating the yes, and go get them now.